I'm kind of so scared for this video. I don't know what to expect. Hey guys, it's Anna, and today I am going to be reacting to my first ever novel I've ever written. I didn't finish it, but I still wrote quite a lot. If you do enjoy the video, I really hope you subscribe. But yeah, let's go ahead and read what little Anna wrote. Oh my gosh, guys, help. So I actually wrote this book 4 years ago when I was in grade 8, and it is a sci-fi book told in first person. From what I remember of it, which isn't much, is that it's kind of a romance slash sci-fi book. I don't really know, but let's just go ahead and read it. Okay, so I'll be putting it on the screen so you guys can kind of read it with me, but this is my book. It is called The Story of Rinku. Rinku, I believe, was the planet that my characters traveled to, so yeah, that's the title. So I believe this sort of first part is the blurb, I think. So let's see what it says. I think this is like just about the book and what I was like doing the working blurb. But it says, a story of new worlds, a fight for survival, and a tale of sacrifice, filled with romance, friendships, and love torn between two worlds. Wow. 4 teenagers against the fight of their lives. Would you dare to leave everything you know to find answers? Wow. Rhetorical question check. Well, you didn't have a choice. Honestly, not bad. Wow, okay, so that's kind of like the prologue slash introduction, what you put on the blurb, I guess. But let's look at chapter 1. Chapter 1. My life was beautiful once. Perfect. Everything was in place. The world rolled smoothly around me. That was until things changed. I was a part of the World Institute of Science, one of the youngest biological scientists on Earth. But Earth didn't last long. What? And then I say what I said before, which was like, well, I remember the planet was green, blah, 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 blah. And then it goes, my mother, she always told me, you will save the earth one day. She risked everything, did everything in her power to help me become who I am, and saved me from the earth's fate. For I thought so. Whoa, interesting. I don't know if I've gathered enough thoughts to kind of critique what I've written, but it's definitely a bit all over the place. Definitely, I don't think that was necessary, but I think the next paragraph is when the story starts. I woke up in a small pod. A blue and green crystal surface formed at the top of the small screen in front of my eyes. My head was dizzy, my eyes red and tired. I felt like it was years since my last memory, until I noticed it was. I'm sorry, I just like can't take this seriously. Okay, let's keep reading. This small machine I was stuck in was filled with so many buttons, like a capsule pod in those space movies. Girl, aren't you a scientist? Don't you know what it's called? This machine was all over the news through the space department of the Institute. Such technical names. People wanting it because of what the NASA scientists of Earth predicted. All I know is that they, and we, were right. This machine took you away from planet Earth not knowing where it was heading to, having the job to find a planet and land. We were trained for this, but I didn't know it would happen too soon. Whoa, this is giving me Wattpad vibes. I don't know why, but like, just like the untechnical names for things and the overuse of the word I. It's I. We were trained for this, but I didn't know it would happen so soon. As I forgot all about everything for a long moment, this big red button grabbed my attention. I pressed it softly as my arms were weak. The door gasped air and dropped as the deafening metal plate hit the ground. The light reached my eyes and the colours I saw. Colours I never knew possible. I didn't know what to think. I just stared and stared, almost feeling non-existent. Still, waiting for my brain to catch up of what happened, until I finally realized I wasn't on planet Earth. Nada, girl. Okay. Panicked. Confused. Whoa. Can't you show more? Not tell more? My brown eyes filled with tears as the warm drops rolled down my face. As I wiped the water away with my dark brown hair. Look at me describing my character. Wow. Trembling and crying, I turned toward the new land. The feeling of guilt and eagerness overwhelmed me like a tidal wave as my head throbbed, vigorously gasping for breath. This is terrible! Suddenly I stopped, stayed still, and looked. I don't think I'm in the right tense there. The accumulated the sky, what am I saying? The sky hard to see. I have to zoom in, man, I can't read for my life. The water rushing throughout near water fountains smelt sweet. The sky was hard to see over the vast branches and leaves from above. Spots of spare land of brown and orange dots accumulated every so often over the mountain. Glowing gems were perched on rock. White, bright shines of light twinkled in the blue glow covering the biome. So different to Earth, yet so beautiful. That's a lot of... what's the word? I can't think of it. Distracted by the beauty, I climbed slowly out of the pod. My arms and legs were so stale. Stale? I felt like my joints were covered in rust, until I noticed I was carrying barely any weight, feeling like I was levitating inches above the ground. The gravity was so different, but oxygen was here, thankfully. Ha 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 ha! Wow! I crackled as I spoke. I had not spoken for so many years. I took a step and bounced a few feet. Wow, imagine, whoa. I scrambled down to the ground and was frightened to death. Low gravity. This is amazing, I said after a dozen minutes of trying to get the hang of walking. My steps were longer and my weight dimmed. Dimmed? I don't think that's... I felt like I was free. I could run faster and jump higher. Walking slowly back to the pod, I searched for the supplies. I had to look around. And obviously I had to put had in bold. Yo, I'm suffering. My love for biology kicked in. Okay, I needed to study the life here. Perhaps some of the things are like on Earth, so I set off, thinking this was a dream, wandering throughout the bizarre forest. Okay, we're nearly done. We're nearly done, guys. Animal-like aliens. Filled parts of trees, all sorts of colors and shapes, slimy and furry. Rummaging through the roots and going past the plants, I've forgotten. What is the tense here? You're rummaging, but you've forgotten. Looking and analyzing the life, but in the back of my mind making sure I knew my way back to the pod. The water vapor from the trees rushed and past my ears, and the sound of bird waddles hovered up to the roof of the forest. Plants with new, undiscovered characteristics spilling over the ground and moss, covering every branch, crystallizing it in the shimmering light. I kind of like that. Spilling over the ground, moss, crystallizing, shimmering light. Very good descriptive word. I just kept walking and walking along the floor of this paradise, looking at every little detail, until I suddenly heard a noise. A rummage from one of the trees and a scrape from a branch. It was someone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They were staring down at me, hiding behind a large leaf. Wait, honestly, I kind of love this. The romance in this book is actually so sweet. But I'm not going to say anything because we're still on the first chapter. Okay. His eyes sparkled silver like moonlight at sea. His face well-defined and long. Okay. He wore beautiful weaved leaves and materials around his waist, and had decorations of fresh plaited leaves around his upper body, which held two sharp daggers on his muscular back. His skin, dark and caramel brown, and short spiky hair colored the most beautiful deep purple. I also noticed beautiful indents throughout his arms and face, glowing bright white, like stars in the night sky. His stare intimidated me. Though my heart was beating and eyes watering. Why was her eyes watering? I spoke soundly. Hello. I quietly gasped. Hello. Why would you do that? How do you gasp? Hello. Hello. I guess that's what she sounds like. His head turned slightly. I stepped back but remained tall. He jumped swiftly, sweeping down from the crowd of tree branches. He looked so calm and elegant, as if he rehearsed every mood. He stopped and sat on the rock 2 meters from me. He looked young but strong. Okay. Why? I don't know, it's just like unnecessary stuff. Like that can be explored like throughout the book, and I'm just like, boom, this is what he looks like. Boom, he's young. Boom, he's like really elegant. Okay. I'm just feeling really critiquey today. Or maybe this book is actually really cringe. I held my breath. He stared at me. I froze in conferment. I don't think that's... He jumped off the rock. He jumped off from the rock and analyzed me, turning in circles, looking at my clothes, skin, and hair. He came back in front of me, and we interlocked eyes. He reached out to touch me, and I quickly reacted and drew my gun, pointing straight at him. His eyes became light red. I mean, he's an alien, so that's kind of cool. And his face turned serious. Then something amazing happened. He forced it out of my hands. It got thrown onto the ground. Womalakwiti, he said calmly, smiling contently at me. Not me making my own language. Go off. I don't understand. Oh, she whispered. Bruh, what the heck? I don't understand. I whispered. He stood back. He was well muscled but thin. Okay. He looked like a warrior of some sort because he had very sharp weapons along his tone. You already established that. But he was beautiful, innocent, and intriguing. Obviously not an intriguing, so much like a human. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He looked down and back up. You're an earthling, are you? He said confidently. Okay, confident. You're an earth? I can't do. If I had to like read an audiobook, I could not do like. You're an earthling, are you? He said confidently. My jaw dropped. My eyes widened and he looked happily at my expression and gave another smile. Oh yeah, Kit. Was his name Kit? I think it's Kit. Kit's really cool. I actually love his character, but not how I've explained it here. How do you speak English? I queried. I seemed less tense now. It was like I knew him from somewhere. We were circling and admiring each other. Ooh. What is your name? I asked. He laughed and replied, and what is yours? I don't know. I kind of like how the I'm trying to decide. Well, I guess that was the first chapter. Let me know what you guys think. My voice. But I'm kind of like, there's a few bits where I'm like, yeah, it definitely needs some work. But again, this was like just a draft 0, so it wasn't like, you know, I went over it so many times and like finished and fixed everything. But I think it's kind of good as like an idea. I definitely have so many more chapters. Chapter 20. Wow, really? That's pretty good. And also thinking back to my plot idea, again, I didn't plot anything for this. I knew, ooh, what is this? I so badly wanted to kiss him. Oh, no spoils, please, no spoils. But yeah, I definitely love the world building and the whole idea, even though it's very like fantastical, and maybe like not realistic in regards to like the science and like physics and reality behind it. But something that I do want to kind of let you guys know is that Kit, who's the boy that the girl meets, he looks actually quite human because he's actually half human. And that's because a human actually is already on this planet, on Rinku. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he came and it was like the people almost thought of him as a god, when in reality that guy's a bad guy, and like the human who came to Rinku like ages ago, because he kind of turned everyone against each other and used and manipulated everyone because he was like a god or whatever, or a sign to the people, and he's like ruling basically the world. That's kind of cool. Honestly, I definitely think this book has potential if I do want to like keep writing, but I definitely want to rewrite it. Definitely needs a rewrite, like Anyways guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was so fun actually reacting to, you know, our old writing and just seeing like how far I've come in my pursuit for novel writing. Yeah, it's really fun. If you guys maybe want to see part 2 to like the second chapter, definitely let me know. But again, I don't really know what to think about it, but let me know what you guys think below. I hope you subscribe and also follow me on these social media links. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, check out my other videos if you want, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.
beautiful people.